It's not in the school down the street. It's not in the school down the street from that. So what am I trying to tell you? You need a backup plan. Your backup plan is your education. The only way that you're going to be able to live the life that you want to live, that you said that you want to live, based off of what the activity you just did, is you need an education. I'm not telling you to not chase your dreams of getting to the NFL or to the NBA or to pro soccer or whatever you want to do, but you need a backup plan. Do you guys know about the careers that surround the NFL? Every NFL team has a publicist. Every NFL team has a physical therapist, a team doctor, a media person, a groundskeeper. Every NFL player needs an agent. Do you know an agent gets anywhere between 10 and 20% of one NFL or one professional football player or a professional sports player's income? That's one. So if you have a player that you represent that makes $1 million a year, you get 10,000, but that's just one. Most agents have 4, 5, 6. So my point is that you guys need to take your education seriously, because you're taking money out of your own pocket. Does everybody understand? Anybody got any questions? All right. So, if anybody who just came in, there's breakfast over here. Make sure you get your breakfast, and you come on and have a seat. Yeah. So, if you guys want to, you can take an extra form with you to take home to a parent. If there's any parents who are here that want to take this form, you can take that form. If anybody wants an extra copy of it, you can come see us. But today, there's a lot of stuff that is planned for you guys today. If you have a blue raffle ticket, make sure that you keep that blue raffle ticket, because they're going to be giving away some prizes and stuff. There's a lot of good people that are scheduled to talk to you. So just take advantage of this opportunity. Really ask questions if you have them. There's a lot of free stuff up there. Don't leave without taking something. And the one thing that I want to leave you with is that your future is yours. There's nobody in this room that's going to be able to tell you or make you do what you need to do for yourself. You need to take stock in yourself and take pride in yourself.
I would like to say good morning to everyone here. This is a special occasion. My name is J.T. Thompson. I want to get a couple of young men up here to elaborate on what's going on. Give us your name.
My name is Darryl.
Darryl, what do you think about this opportunity to be here at this live skill event?
I think it's a good opportunity to show people opportunities for the future and live the life they want to live.
So what are your plans for the future?
My plans, first I'm going to enlist the Army. I'm going to serve 10 years, and then I'm going to go to the FBI afterwards, after I get a 4-year degree.
You do have a plan. Since you're going to be on TV, you didn't know this, what are you going to say to someone that you love out there in TV land?
Follow your dreams. Don't let nobody stop you.
Look at somebody and say good morning. Come on, look at somebody and say good morning. I'm here to achieve. Come on, look at somebody else, say good morning. I'm here to achieve. Good, 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 good. We want to thank all of you guys for investing in this and coming to this. If you can take your seat real quick, and then we got some good information for you. We have some good information for you. I'm going to speak to the adults in the room real quickly. Adults, thank you for coming this morning. If you are a male volunteer, can we see you to our left over here? All male volunteers, if you're going to be managing a table, can we see you to our left, right over here by Walmart? Walmart, raise your hand, wave at them. Come see those guys right over there. Here's what I need you to do. We have Judge Joe Stevens that's sponsoring this, and we're so thankful for him. I'm going to ask him to head this way real quickly. I think he's going to say good morning to you, and then he's going to introduce a guest for you. We believe in you guys. We believe in you, and we're trying to invest in you because you are important, not only to this school, but you're important to this neighborhood. Would you give a round of applause for Judge Joe Stevens as he comes and says good morning to you this morning?
Thank you, Pastor Herb. Gentlemen, thank you for coming out this morning. Whether you're here for credit recovery or here to get enriched by this event, we want to thank you all for coming. Before we get started with our guests, let's give all the volunteers, the police officers, McDonald's, everybody that's got a booth here, a big round of applause for putting this on. Guys, there's two things in life that are most important, outside of your family, of course: time and money. And it took both of those to put this on. And so when people give you their time, you want to show them respect, and you want to thank them when they give you their time. You guys know who I am. I'm Judge Joe Stevens. We're putting this event on for you all to enrich your lives. So we ask that you pay attention today, ask questions, participate. But I'm not going to delay this any further. I want to introduce our first guest speaker, none other than our current mayor of Houston. This man is the CEO, the president of the entire city of Houston. He always gives his time, and so I always want to support him in everything that he does. But he's here to give you all a little testimony about his story and enrich you guys' lives. So please pay attention and give a big, big, big round of applause to Mayor Sylvester Turner.
Look, let me say good morning to everyone, and I certainly want to start off by giving a big shout out to Judge Joe Stevens. I mean, he's one of the reasons also why I'm here. So give it up to this guy. Thank you, Judge. Look, this is his passion, not just being a judge, and he was on the, are you still on the school board? Not on the school board, you know, but I know this is his passion. He's asked me to come out before. I try to come out as much as I can, but the main reason why I came out is for you all. Because I tell you, yeah, I am the mayor of the city of Houston. I grew up in this city, you know, native Houstonian. How many of y'all know where Acres Home is? Okay. Well, I grew up in Acres Home on Starlings. You know what Garden City is? 3005 Starlings. I grew up in Acres Home. I was reared in Acres Home. You know where I still live? I still live in Acres Home, the north side, the fofo. You know, and quite frankly, I live less than, well, still the same sort of community, less than 2-3 minutes from where I was born and reared. I chose to continue to stay in the neighborhood because when I was growing up, the teacher, the principal, the businessmen and businesswomen, everybody lived right there in the neighborhood. And so I kind of watched them grow up, and I decided that I wanted to stay in the same hood. And so at the end of the day, when I finished, you know, today running around doing what I gotta do, the mayor's detail take me right back to Acres Home. It's my way of saying we're all in this together, okay? And that you can grow up, come out of the hood, and you can still be the mayor of the 4th largest city. Now, neither one of my parents graduated from high school. I don't say that in a negative way. I know the trustee of HISD, Rhonda Skiller Jones, is here this morning. Give it up to Trustee Rhonda Skiller Jones. Thank you, Rhonda, for being here. Neither one of my parents graduated from high school. My dad went as high as the 10th, my mom went as high as the 11th. My father died of cancer early when I was 13. So it was my mom, this woman that never graduated from high school, never learned how to drive. It was my mom that reared 9 kids. I'm 6 of number 9, okay? And so she would get us ready to go to school, and then she would catch another bus and go downtown. She was a maid at the old Rice Hotel, which is still today, a maid at the Rice Hotel. I'm gonna tell you this funny story, then I'm gonna sit down. And so my mom was, you know, made, and you know, the boys are trying to do some things to kind of help her out financially. And so she was at the church and ran into this deacon, and he said, you know, I will give Sylvester a job, and he can be my electrician assistant. And so my mom came home, she said, I got you a job, and you're gonna be working with this electrician, Eugene Gully, out of Acres Home. He's gonna pick you up, and on the weekends and during the summer. And I said, cool, you know, and I'll be electrician assistant. She said, yeah. I said, cool. So that Sunday, I got everything ready. Sunday morning, Monday morning, I had my jeans on, nice jeans too, shirt, nice shirt. I mean, I was ready, you know. So he picked me up and we go to this house in Acres Home. And he said, son, take this wire and meet me on the other side. So I said, fine. So he started walking, and I was walking right behind him. So he said, where you going? I said, you told me to meet you on the other side. He said, son, I'm going to walk around the other side. I need you to take this wire and go underneath the house. I said, you want me to go underneath this house? He said, son, how else is the wire going to get underneath the house? How you going to meet my son? I said, you want me to go underneath this house? He said, son, get on your belly and take the wire underneath the house, and I'm going to meet you on the other side. I said, okay. So I get on my belly, and I crawl underneath this house. It was wet, muddy, and I mean, in Acres Home, there was a chicken underneath the doggone house. And so I'm crawling as quickly as I can. So when I come out on the other side, all my shirt, my jeans, everything, all muddied up, and I was bad, and because when I was crawling, I said, when I crawl underneath this house, that's gonna be the end of this job. So so I get up on the other side. So he looks at me, he said, it seemed like you got an attitude. I didn't say anything. I knew better to say anything. I didn't say anything. So, but I was saying to myself, yeah, when you take me home at the end of this day, you're not gonna see me anymore. I don't want this job. So anyway, you take me home, and I tell my mom, walk in, I tell my mom, I said, I'm done, I'm not going back, don't like the job, look at me. You know, this man had me crawling underneath the house. I'm not going back. So my mom said, what you mean you're not going back? I said, I'm not going back to that job. I don't like the job. I do something better. She said, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know, but I ain't doing that. And so then my mom said something to me I never forgot. She said, son, you don't have to go back. You don't have to go back, no problem. But tomorrow, your mother gonna catch that bus and go downtown and clean them hotel rooms and them toilets of people I don't know either. And she said, and I don't like my job. She said, I don't like she said, you think I like going and cleaning up and then you fill in the, you know, she was a Christian woman, but she kind of brought it down where I could understand it. She said, you think I'm gonna clean them commodes, them toilets, and them bedrooms, folk, that I don't know? She said, I don't like my job either. But she said, I go there because I got 9 kids, Sylvester, like you, that I gotta feed, keep a roof over their head. I don't like my job either, but tomorrow I'm gonna catch that bus and go downtown. And I thought about that. And I said, okay, here's my mom rearing 9 kids by herself, cleaning other people's hotel rooms and their toilets. And she's doing it for me. So, the next day, I had on a raggedy shirt, some raggedy jeans, some shoes I didn't care for, and I was back with the electrician. And I did that for the rest of the summer. But let me tell you what it taught me. There are some things we do we don't necessarily like to do, but we do them, as my moms would say, because tomorrow will be better than today. That was her theme. Son, we don't have it right now, but tomorrow will be better than today. And then she would say, life is not fair. Life ain't fair, but you just gotta learn to deal with it. But tomorrow will be better than today. Now, was she right? Let me tell you. I finished up going through school, went on to the University of Houston, became a lawyer, came back, been a partner in the law firm downtown for over 30-some years, in the legislature at the Capitol in Austin. And this morning, I come before you standing as the same kid from Acres Home, born and reared on the north side from the Fofo. Neither one of my parents graduated from high school, a mom that was a maid, and I'm the mayor of the 4th largest city in the United States of America. That's who I am. All I stop by to tell you, doesn't matter what we look like, black, white, brown, doesn't matter where we come from, be proud of who we are, but all of us who are here today, just want to say to you, we're here because we want you to realize your full potential. Want you to realize your full potential. And came by to basically say, all of you, gifted, you got what you need in order to succeed. Don't let anybody put negative stuff in you that block your path. And if you just stay the course, you can come from, whether it's the Northeast, whether it comes from the Northwest, whether it comes from 5th Ward, the Nickel, 3rd Ward, the Trey, Sunnyside, Cashmere Garden, Trinity Garden, Settegast, the North End, you know, the East End, Magnolia Park. It doesn't matter. The reality is, each one of you are gifted, and just keep moving to realize your full potential. And then down the road, pay it forward, and be like a Judge Joe Stevens, give back to those that have given to you. And I tell you, you'll reach your destination. That's all I came to say. I ain't trying, I don't want to preach to you. But what I will tell you, let me tell you one of the proudest moments for me is for the mayor of City of Houston to go right back to the hood from which I've come. I'm not supposed to drive now. I'm not supposed to drive. But like on a Saturday, at the end of the day, I wanted to get in my own vehicle. So I peeked out the window to make sure the mayor's detail was gone. And I hopped in my truck. But I hadn't been in it, so I didn't have any gas in it. So I'd go to the local gas station right there in Little York. And I was pumping my gas, a guy come along, he was walking, and he slows up. He walks past me, and then he turned around. I said to myself, oh, where is my mayor's detail? So as he walked back to me, I put my hand in my pocket like I had something. So he come up to me and he said, dude, what's your name? So I said, man, why you asking me my name, you know? So he said, what's your name? I said, he said, you sure look like that mayor. So I said, man, I am the mayor. He said, no, you ain't the mayor. You know, you over here. He said, you over here at Acres Home. I said, where do you expect for me to be? I live in Acres Home. He said, you the mayor and you still living in Acres Home? I said, what's wrong with Acres Home? I was born in Acres Home. I was reared in Acres Home. Why can't the mayor live in Acres Home? And then he kind of fist pumped me and hit me on my shoulder. He said, dude, you all right with me? Well, I just stopped by to say, hey, brothers, y'all all right with me. Just live up to your full potential. Be the best you can be. Thanks. And I'm out. Joe, Judge Stevens.
Mayor Turner, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this blessing you've been to these young men. And we appreciate all the work you're doing at City Hall and everything you're doing for the city. Gentlemen, Mayor Turner has some special gifts for you guys. So when you checked in, we gave each and every one of you a blue raffle ticket. So dig in your pockets and let's pull out those blue raffle tickets. If you lost your ticket, you better find it, because throughout the course of the day, we're going to be giving out these prizes. And the mayor has a couple of special ones for you. Everybody had their raffle tickets out? All right, first thing we're giving away, guys, is a gift certificate for some new pair of Jordans, okay? A gift certificate for some Jordans. So, Mayor, go ahead and pull. Y'all didn't know the mayor wears J's. All right, 384070. That's you? And he's going to the Air Force Academy. There you go. All right, we've got one more prize. She's got to give him the ticket. Mayor, hold that for me. We got an Xbox, guys. All right, does everybody have one now? Is that it? All right, go ahead, Mayor.
We need one right here, ma'am.
384075. 384075. What's that? Hey! You have to hide that for the rest of the day. Now, this don't mean you can leave. All right, guys. One more time, you guys, to give Mayor Houston, Mayor Sylvester Turner, a big round of applause. Thank you so much, man. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, guys, here in a minute, we're going to break you all up into your stations and get you going to your different tables today. But before we do that, I want to give you guys a little bit of my testimony. Like we said before, I'm Judge Joe Stevens. Many, many years ago, guys, I played for the Houston Rockets. Anybody know who Charles Barkley is? Hakeem Olajuwon? Clyde Drexler? So I played for the Rockets back when they used to actually win championships, probably before y'all were born. But guys, let me tell you my story. I wasn't drafted. I came out of North Shore High School. I was undrafted. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I had a dream. And my mom asked me one summer, she said, JoJo, what do you want to be when you finish college? I said, I want to be a professional basketball player. You know what my mom asked me? She said, how many professional basketball players do you hang around on a daily basis? I said, none. I was going to the YMCA every day, playing, killing guys in my neighborhood, but I wasn't hanging around any professionals. So from that day forward, I started going to Fondy Recreation Center and hanging out at Fondy every day. You would have guys like Vernon Maxwell, Hakeem, Moses Malone, all the NBA greats playing. Finally, one day, one of the guys looked at me and got tired and said, you want to jump in? I jumped in the games and I started playing. You know, at first you're nervous, didn't feel like you belong, but I came back every day to Fondy Recreation Center, every day, and I got better and better every day. And then one day the Rockets had an open tryout at Houston Baptist University. Back then, the Houston used to have two newspapers, the Houston Post and the Houston Chronicle. And my dad had read in the paper that in the Post, the Rockets were having an open tryout. And so I went off the streets, had a dream, knew what I wanted to try to do, and I asked the guy at the front door, do you mind if I get in this workout? He said, who are you? I'm Joe Stevens. He remembered me from high school. He said, sure, jump in the drills. 2 hours later, guys, I'm sitting down, I'm tying my sneakers on a break, and 4 shoes walk up. And I look up, and it's Rudy Tomjanovich and Carol Dawson. At the time, that was the head coach of the Houston Rockets, who had just won back-to-back championships, and the general manager. And they asked me, how would you like to be a Houston Rocket? 2 hours before, guys, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I knew I had a dream, and I wanted to follow it. And that one day changed the rest of my life. My first year on the team, in the preseason, I led the Houston Rockets in scoring, and I got cut. So with Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, Mario Elie, all of these greats, you say, man, how did you get cut and you led the team in scoring? Well, they had too many guaranteed contracts, but they invited me to come back the next season, and I made the team. I had a 4-year NBA career, and I played in Europe for 6 years. Throughout this entire time of me playing in the NBA and playing overseas, I always came back home and I served my community through basketball camps, through turkey giveaways, through just giving back and serving in the community. So I want to encourage you guys today, if I can accomplish my dreams through hard work and perseverance, you guys can do the same. But you got to work hard. You got to be prepared. And there's one thing in life you can't fake, guys, and that's preparation. I told you I was at the YMCA every night till midnight working on my game, honing my craft. You can talk a good game, but do you have the work ethic behind it to accomplish your goals? Do you have the work ethic? You cannot fake preparation. I had a friend of mine, my rookie year, we were out having dinner. He was like, man, you're so lucky. You are so lucky, man. You got a break and look at your life now. And I told him, there's no such thing as luck. Somebody raise their hand and tell me what luck is. What is luck? Young man, what is luck? Yeah, what's luck? It's just a fluke. It's just something that happened. It was like, oh, you just got lucky. Luck, guys, is when opportunity and preparation meet. At this point right here, when preparation and opportunity meet, that's luck. You make your own luck. I could have gotten an opportunity that day at HBU and been out of shape. What would have happened? You think they would have wanted me? No, they wouldn't have wanted me because I was prepared when my opportunity presented itself. So whether it's school, whether it's athletics, whether it's church, whatever it is, whatever you want to be, whatever your passion is, you have to be prepared, because I promise you, go around this room today and ask every adult in this room, whether they're a teacher, whether they're a police officer, whether they're a pastor of a church, all of these men are here today to pour into you guys. So ask questions. Everybody that I know that's an adult that's working has a testimony. They have one day in their life, whether it was a scholarship to go to college. I had a lady tell me the other day about how she got a bowling scholarship to go to college. One day in their life probably changed the whole path of their life. I know 97.9, the box is here. I hope Mad Hatter comes out, because Mad Hatter has a great testimony about how one day he was hanging around the studio. I don't know if you want to do music, but Mad Hatter, the DJ at 97.9, was hanging around the studio. And one day, the young lady whose program it was didn't show up. She was a habitual person and didn't come to work. So his producer got upset one day and said, you know what? Hatter, jump in. Ever since that day, Mad Hatter has had his own radio show because of one day. What if Hatter wasn't prepared? What if Mad Hatter was not prepared for his opportunity? It would have never happened. So guys, what I talked about earlier about time and wanting to be respectful of time, I want to introduce our commissioner, Harris County Commissioner, one of the most powerful men in Houston, Harris County Precinct 2 Commissioner, my good friend, none other than Commissioner Rodney Ellis. Big round of applause, guys. Thank you so much, Commissioner, for coming out. Gentlemen, for you guys, and I'll let Commissioner Ellis tell you a little bit about this. Commissioner Ellis was in the state legislature as a senator for 26 years. Now he's your Harris County Precinct 2 Commissioner, Precinct 1 Commissioner, and he does a fantastic job. We want to give him a second to talk about what he does as a lawmaker, what he does now as a commissioner, one of the most powerful men in Houston, guys. Please pay attention.
How you all doing? I know you're getting tired. You heard a few speeches, right? but it'll resonate one day. Y'all still awake? Who's awake? How many awake? Put your hand up. Put both hands up. I just want to make sure I wake you up. Clap them. You all right? So first, I want to thank the judge for using his stature, his success, being a role model for you all. There are a lot of things that he could be doing on a Saturday morning. It took a good month to 6 months to put this together. But Joe, I'm so proud of you. Give him another warm round of applause for doing this. I'm so proud of you. I spend a good bit of my time worried about a fellow that looks like you all. We have 4 girls and 1 boy in our household. He's a sophomore at the University of Texas now. And I just think of all of the crazy things that I did when I was you all's age. But by the grace of God, I just looked up and made it out okay. So I spent a lot of time worrying about that one son. So I think that's why it's so important that Joe does this. We're worried about our daughters as well, but you boys in particular, sometimes things just come your way and they get out of kilter. So it is important for you to get a chance to be exposed to people like the mayor, the judge, other people. HIC school board member Rhonda Skillen Jones is here, so you can be respectful. So Harris County is governed by a 5-person governing board. 1 is elected countywide, 4 of us are elected from precincts. This is a big county, huge. In fact, the county is larger than 26 states. So imagine, we're roughly almost 5 million people in Harris County. That's a larger population than 26 states. So you got about as many people, as an example, in the state of Louisiana. The whole state, the population is roughly the population of Harris County. More people here than you have living in the state of Oregon, Idaho, Nebraska. You run through the list, a lot of them. A lot of people are attracted to this region. In part, they're attracted to this region because of the economy, because the cost of living is a bit lower than it is in other parts of the country, and because the weather is so great other than the summer, right? So that attracts a lot of people to this region, one of the fastest growing regions in the country. And on this 5-person governing board, each of the commissioners are kind of like, in some ways, the analogy would be to a mini mayor of their precinct. Counties don't have something called ordinance making power. So if you live in unincorporated Harris County, there are a lot of rules that a city can put in place that the county cannot put in place. That makes it a real challenge. When the next census comes out, when they count people, there'll be more people living in unincorporated Harris County, no city. Unincorporated Harris County will have a larger population than you have in the city of Houston. If the demographers, the people who do the counting, the census counting people are right. And that's gonna pose challenge for us trying to convince my former colleagues in the legislature to give the county government the ability to put some rules in place that cities can put in place. Counties over health care for people who cannot afford health care. The counties over the jail system, which I hope none of us encounter, but that is a big challenge. The county has a lot of jurisdiction over flood control issues, like our bayous. Probably one of the biggest economic drivers in this region is the Port of Houston. I don't think God really intended for us to have a port, but we got one anyway. They just dug a hole in from the Gulf of Mexico. So our port, which is a big driver, you ought to Google it, learn a little bit about that Port of Houston. Largest port for foreign tonnage in the world. But that port was not a natural body of water. They just took a bayou and dug it on in, all the way close to downtown Houston. So I want to encourage you to learn more about government in general, whether it's the school board, state government, city government, a county government, because government impacts so much of what we do. How many of you all are seniors? How many are seniors? So you are in the process of applying to colleges, right? Rhonda Skilton Jones, who's on the school board now, sometimes do a little session, and we encourage people, if you're gonna go to college, and the judge knows this, make sure you have a finance meeting, right? Don't just pick a college because the counselor went to the college and they tell you that's a good school, that's why I went. You need to do a finance meeting. When I was your age, the largest source of debt that most people had in this country was their home. Now the largest source of debt for people in America is college tuition. So you want to make sure when you pick a college you go to, if you can get some money, take it. Make sure you apply for everything you can think of. How many in the 11th grade? Anybody in the 8th grade? Okay. So if you're in your senior year, your GPA is about set. I didn't realize that until I was a senior. Most of what I could do, I had done. So a lot of my choices for college were made by the time I got to my senior year. It's hard to improve that GPA. You can just approve your ability when it's time to take that test, to take that SAT. But if you're in the 9th grade, work on that average, it matters. Work on that average. If you're in the 10th grade, work on it. If the 11th grade, you got a little bit you can do. But I want to encourage all of you to go to college. A good way to start is do a community college first. If you opt not to go to college, go get a skill. Go get something. Figure out what you can do so you can keep living like this. So look, I know you got a full day. I see you got a reality check work list that you're going through. Joe, you've done a great job. I tried to throw in bike riding. Over at Precinct 1, we bought about 200 bikes. How many of y'all ride bicycles? We even have some electric bikes. But I want to encourage you to keep your mind and your body physically fit. The #1 cause of death now, Joe, is what we eat. So you want to make sure you eat healthy so you can live to be good looking. When you get to be my age, I look pretty good. Almost 65, it ain't bad. Look at my, come on, I want to have him standing next to me. When you get 65, I'm going to see if you look this good when you're 65 and can still ride that bicycle across Texas. Hey, have a great day. Thank you, Joe. So proud of you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ellis. We give Commissioner Ellis a big round of applause, you guys.
Deshauna Chick McNeil, Harris County Sheriff's Office, working in the Crimes Division. Today we're going to be here talking to the kids about interaction with law enforcement. We're going to be talking about dealing with police officers in general, and also I'll be talking to them a little bit about drunk driving. We have some goggles here. We're going to put them through some tests where they have the goggles on that will mimic intoxication from a high level to a low level. We'll be putting them through some of the STs, standardized field sobriety testing, drugstore, just kind of overall interaction with law enforcement, how to do things when you speak with law enforcement, and just how to conduct yourself. So that's what we'll be doing today.
So we're here today just to kind of talk about different career paths that you can choose working at Walmart, and also help get back to the community. We donated several different items, gift cards, game systems to the event. So just wait for us to give back to the communities that we serve in.
He owns a welding school, guys. This is a minority business owner that gives people like you and me opportunities to be successful in life. Mr. Andre owns a welding school on Wallaceville Road, and he's pledged today, for those of you that would like to attend welding school, he's going to give you all scholarships to attend his welding school. So I'll bring up Mr. Andre. Give him a big, big round of applause. This is real opportunity. So we don't bring you here and just send you home without opportunity. You're going to have information from Mr. Andre. So if you ever want to pursue a career in welding, he's going to show you guys how to do that. Give him a big round of applause, guys.
What we're going to do is we're going to bring up a very special guest by the name of Miss Sheila Jackson Lee. Yes, right? If we have time, we're going to get back to it and we're going to talk to y'all a little bit more. Y'all give it up one more time for Miss Sheila Jackson Lee.
Well, I'm going to make sure that you have some time to hear from Driven and my brothers and sisters over here. Let me thank you very much. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Joe Stevens. Thank you. Thank you for that dunking when you played basketball. Thank you for having my back when I was playing a forward. Point forward, is that it? Okay. Guys, how are you? I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. There are many of you, I've been in your high schools, I have been in your middle schools, but frankly, as you well know, in the United States Congress, we get on an airplane and go back and forth to Washington. That's why it's so very important that I link up to outstanding leaders like Driven, like Joe Stevens, Judge Joe Stevens, in the constable and precinct that he is in charge of. It is good for you to understand that government is not against you, it is for you. In the United States Congress, I go to Washington to deal with entities and individuals that may not be doing the best for you. That doesn't mean that government cannot be on your side and not against you. And my role is to come here today and say and to affirm what Judge Stevens has been doing throughout this area. Part of it is my congressional district, and that is to say that there are no throwaways in our life. In our wheelhouse, nobody is unimportant. Everybody is important. Everybody is somebody. Everybody is standing. I see some folk leaning on their hand, counting the clock in their head, how long I have to be here. Let me be very clear. It's not important as to whether or not I say I'm not being paid to do this, or Joe Stevens is not being paid in particular to do that. You don't really care. But what I will say to you is the pearls that you are getting, just the bits of information that you are getting, somewhere down the road in your life, you may hear this and say, you know what? I was in this session. Mayor Turner came, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee came, and we said to you that there are no throwaways, but more importantly, there's somebody that you can call. Amen. There's somebody that when you get in a ditch that you can call. Remember the name. Maybe you just say to Deputy Sheriff so-and-so, I know Sheila Jackson Lee. I know Driven. I know Judge Stevens. Maybe you can say, I was in the empowerment classes. Maybe you will understand that when I sit in the Judiciary Committee, I'm not talking about locking people up. We're talking about passing laws to be able to be humane and decent if somebody gets on the wrong side. But I don't want to use that law for you. I'd rather you not go that way where I have to use that federal law to say, let him out. I'd rather use Pell Grants. I'd rather use the monies I'm giving to the community college, University of Houston, Texas Southern University, so you can sit in a seat. Or maybe you want to go into the United States military and get your education there. That's what I want to be fighting for. And the only way I can do that, if people are leaning over or sleeping or not thinking it's important, brother, you're leaning on your hand there. Let me shake your hand so you don't have to lean on your hand, brother. Okay? Let me shake that hand. Let me shake the one you're leaning on, brother. Thank you very much. All right. He's going back. But what I'm trying to say is there's a bowl, a bucket, a river, a pond of resources that maybe you don't see me up and down the streets every day because I've got to get on a plane to go back to Washington. But know that we are there and that the resources that are there are for you to use. Take advantage of them. Take advantage of us. For in this month that we are acknowledging a particular group, African Americans, in the month where we dignify and love Latinos, in the month that we love and dignify Asians, it is a reflective of loving and loving everyone, Anglos included. The diversity of this nation is what all of you are about. And so I came by here today to try to invest. Now, I sit on judiciary. What does that mean? All these police officers, deputy sheriffs, constables, HPD, are under my wheelhouse, meaning under my jurisdiction. DEA, drug enforcement. ATF, FBI. Somebody in here could be any one of those. Oh, yes. Because life experiences count. And so, if we're up there fighting to diversify the CIA, anybody ever heard of the CIA? What is that? Whatever you said is the thing, what? Central Intelligence, brother. What's that other word? It's called SPY. What is that? SPY. Spy. On behalf of your government, trying to save your life. All of those doors are open to you. In the federal government, we're trying to make sure those doors are open. Secret Service. Resources. Knowing folk. Telling you what's possible. making sure that you understand the words of Dr. King are not hollow. We hear them all the time. Here we go again. Or maybe the words of Frederick Douglass, there is no power without struggle. Or W. Du Bois, we are all the talented tenth. Or maybe Booker T. Washington, well, you may just want to work with your hands. There's no indecency to that. There may be builders in here for eternity, welders, plumbers. But the one thing I hope that there is folk that find the straight and narrow road attractive. And if they get on the crooked road, they got a hand extended to pull them back. They get on the ledge or the edge, they got a hand to pull them back. Teachers, let me thank you so very much for all that you do. Family and parents, thank you for all that you do. We want to be in the lives of all of these brothers that are here. I may be short, but I told you that Joe and I on the same court, on the same basketball court, and nobody will play Sheila Jackson Lee as the best point forward, short point forward that one could ever have. Joe and I may have a celebrity basketball game. We may want to run into that. Yeah, he said, let's do it. We may want to run into that. Y'all haven't seen me. The least I can do is dribble. That's about it. Then I throw it to somebody else to get it in. Crosso, there, he's got the word for me. We can be as good as Harden and as good as those boys at the University of Houston and TSU. I am being serious as I stop for a moment and yield back. We say in the United States Congress, we yield to the gentleman, Brother Driven. We yield the floor. I wanted to come here with a sense of energy and excitement. I'm so glad the brother's got his hand off his face. We're going to be good friends. We're going to be good friends. He got it. Some others are still leaning. But I wanted to do this because Washington seems so far away. Many of you came of age under my good friend, President Barack Obama. It looked like we spent so much time in the White House engaging, working, trying to do what was right, trying to be his armor bearer in terms of people attacking. Even though it looked like he was enormously powerful, he could have given up. Everybody was trying to say what he wasn't doing, what he wasn't able to do, and blocking what he was doing, and he just kept on keeping on. We now have a challenging time with a new White House. And so some of you may be seeing that and throwing in the towel as to why the heck you need to care about anything. You're looking at Washington if you see it on social media, and you want to know why you even need to be concerned. Just know that things are governed by people, but the institution of schools, faith, family remain. And no matter what comes in your pathway, so in my pathway is an administration, a White House that is not walking the pathway that I would want it to walk on behalf of this nation. My task is to sit in a judiciary committee or on the floor and to challenge them and to indicate that you are not walking the pathway to help my people. But that doesn't mean that I give up on this nation, to give up on myself, give up on the people that I see from sea to shining sea, if you will, the brothers and sisters at the border, the unaccompanied children, the juvenile persons that unfortunately are in detention downtown Houston. I don't give up on them. My schools, because that is failure and I will not have it. And so to all of you, I just wanted to, as I thank Judge Stevens and continue to work with him, I want you to know, if you can remember the name, there's three of them, maybe you'll remember one, Sheila Jackson Lee, United States Congress. The district was created under the Voting Rights Act, which generated from people sweating and dying. Barbara Jordan was way before your time, my mentor, Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. Here's a brother that knows that, God bless him, the Honorable Mickey Leland, and the Honorable Craig Washington and Sheila Jackson Lee. You've had four in this region, in this area. And I would venture to say that all of us follow what I've said. There are no throwaway human beings. And for this reason, I offer myself as a resource for those who are prepared to understand their own human dignity. Don't take lightly this day and this time. Grab hold of it. Run away with it. Remember somebody's name, something that somebody said. It will be good to you in a time of trouble. And when you're in the ditch, make sure you understand. There's a whole army. Old-fashioned talk, Sister Sledge, we are family. That's old-fashioned talk. But I know that you've got other brothers and sisters who's speaking the language of your time that will tell you that we are family and we will do what we need to do to help you out. God bless all of you. God bless the United States of America.
I've got a very special guest. He's a hometown product, a graduate of North Forest Independent School District. Andre Sloan, come on up, brother, and close us out. Give Andre Sloan a big round of applause, man. We've taken this empowerment camp all over the precinct, and I always like to close it out with somebody local so you guys can touch, feel, and see someone that's been through this school system over here and come out on the other side successful. Andre.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on, y'all, give it up for yourselves. Give it up for yourselves. Come on. Thank you, Judge, to everybody who came. I'm going to give y'all probably like 5 to 7 minutes. Let's start from the beginning. I grew up 5300 Coke Street, Clayton. I moved to Gulf Coast Apartments where when you drove in the hood, somebody was at the gate stopping you, asking you who you for. And if you wasn't a regular around there, then you wasn't coming in. My mom worked 3 jobs to take care of 5 boys. My father was in prison before I even came out the stomach, 2 counts of life. I had God, and my mama told me to keep education. I was like, education? God, yeah, education, maybe not. I went to Francis Scott Key Middle School in the HISD, and I transferred to Forest Brook High School in my 9th grade year. After Forest Brook High School, my 9th grade year, we merged, which now is called North Forest High School. I went to that school across the street as a young person who fought every day, who sold drugs as a kid, who was very, very, very violent. I made a decision in myself in the 8th grade and said that I didn't want to live the standard that society had put on me. Period. How many of y'all go to North Forest? Raise your hand. Got some North Forest people here. In 9th grade, I entered the school. From 9th to the 12th grade, I did not make a C. I made A's and B's. Period. I never knew anything about basketball until I got to 9th grade. I started to play basketball and I started to be pretty good. Average about 14 points 9th grade, 17 points 10th grade, 11th grade was 24 points, and in the 12th grade I was averaging 27 points right here at North Forest High School. I had 71 scholarships. I chose to go to Lamar University. I walked across the stage with over $80,000 in scholarships. I was number 10 in my class. I'm not up here so I can just give y'all all my accolades. I really want y'all to follow the story. I graduated from high school, number 10 in my class, with a basketball scholarship from Lamar University where I was proceeding to play. And then my mom went to prison. I had to stop everything I was doing. I had to come home and take care of my family and raise my little brother. I say that, all that right there, just to tell y'all that life doesn't stop. You're always gonna have pressure. You're always gonna have trials. But if you did not have those trials and that pressure, then you would not be able to learn. You would not be able to endure. Those are in your life for a reason. I grew up right down the street. My little brother actually attends this high school now. The stuff that we were asking for, I was the Honor Society president at North Forest in my 12th grade year. We were in the courthouse and at the administration building telling them we need computers. It'll be faster for the teachers and it'll be faster for us. And we could just submit it. We could cut paper. They didn't give it to us. Now they have computers. Come on, clap for that. And I'm not saying it's all me. In 12th grade, we fought for a building. We said, hey, we got together. I got my friends together. Yeah, I knew all the hood people too. I was cool. I was good because I was raised in the hood. I got all of them together. I said, hey, man, we was Forestbrook and Smiley. We got to come to Smiley campus, man. Why don't they just build us our own school? We went to the administration building. Sheila Jackson Lee was at the first meeting we had. Hey, we want a new building. We want to start raising funds for a new building. You're going to say, we're a new school, we need a new building. We didn't get it, but look at this. The work you put in today is going to determine your success tomorrow. And that's the truth. The work you put in today is going to determine your success tomorrow. I want to leave y'all with this. I work for a nonprofit called We Are Writers Block. Gang, gang. That's my brother over there, just to let y'all know. I work for a nonprofit called We Are Writers Block. We're a 501c3 for performing and literary arts. What we do is we go into these communities, they call it the low-income communities, and we pass out notebooks and pen, and we encourage the youth that the pen is stronger than the gun. That we don't fight about it, we write about it. That gift that's inside you can birth nations. That gift that's inside you can actually change the world. So what I want y'all to do right now, I want everybody to stand up. We're closing out. Come on, get up. Get up. My brother's name is Mr. A.J. McQueen. And he says this when we go out to the schools. I want to shout this out to my brother A.J. McQueen. I want everybody to repeat after me. Y'all ready? Say, I'm in the process of becoming. That was good. We're going to do it one more time. Say, I'm in the process of becoming something greater than I used to be. So please don't get used to me. Because I don't plan on being the same person tomorrow. And I know what you're going to say. And I know what you're going to say. Oh man, you changed. And I'm going to say, oh man, you stayed the same. My name is Andre Sloan. I love y'all, man. Give it up.
Guys, we're going to get a picture with you guys before we leave. Again, thank you so much for attending Boys Rock 2. You guys truly do rock. Please, 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 guys, take what you learned today and implement it. We want all you all to be successful. And remember, if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, it's still among the stars. Thank you, guys.